Hello all. In the last video, we installed pfSense firewall. We did the basic configuration also. If you have not done that, I will suggest you to go through the earlier video and install pfSense firewall. So once the pfSense firewall is installed and the basic configuration is done, now in this video, we will look at the console provided by the pfSense firewall and the various options provided. So when you log in to the pfSense console, this is the dashboard that is shown. On this dashboard, you will be getting the name that you specify. You can change this name. You will see from where you can change it. Now, from which IP the user has logged in, you will be able to see that. Similarly, the version of your pfSense firewall will be shown here. If you want, you can refresh that particular version. It will tell you whether your system is updated. Similarly, here in the CPU type, you get the CPU, how many CPUs are there, cores are there. This is how it shows some information on the dashboard. Now, let's go to this system tab. In this system tab, here, the most important is certificates, from where you can create the certification authority which is required in case if you are going to do a SSL man in the middle. Now this is general setup. Now from this tab you can change the name, host name of this particular firewall. You can specify the domain name, or you can specify the DNS servers. In case if you want to change your DNS servers, you can always come to this and you can add the DNS servers here. You can specify your time zone. If you have missed during installation, you can change the time zone from here. This is how the general setup provides you these options. These are most important ones. Now again, in the same system tab, if you go to package manager, this is where it's like a marketplace from where you can install different applications on this pfSense firewall. In this install packages, it will show you the packages that are currently installed on the pfSense. Now you see by default, no packages are installed. Click on available packages and it will connect you to their repository. Now there are lots of applications available. You can install as per your requirement. If you want certain application, you can type that in the search and you can search for that application. Like in later videos, we are going to install the Squid proxy. So if I just search for the Squid here, it will show me the packages related to Squid. So later on, we are going to install this Squid, Squid Guard, etc. in later videos. Now similarly, the IDS is Snort. This also we are going to see in later videos. So if I search for that, here you get the Snort, which is an open source intrusion detection or prevention system. So this is how you search for the applications and then click install, and that will install this particular application. Now in system, the setup wizard is there. So in case if you want to start the initial setup wizard that started when you first time logged into the pfSense firewall, you can start that from here by clicking on that setup wizard. Here you have update. You can update your pfSense firewall from this particular thing. So if there are any updates available, it will download and update your system. This is where you get the logout option. So remember, whenever you are done with the configuration, please log out. Now in the interfaces, you have assignments option. So here you can decide which interface will be the WAN interface, LAN interface. Similarly, if you have an additional interface added, which you want to use to create a DMZ. So in that case, you can use that. In later video, I will explain about what is DMZ and how to create that. This is how you can have, if you have some wireless adapters, you can add that. You can create VLANs. So all these options are present here in the interfaces. If you want to configure the WAN and LAN interface IP addresses, you can come to this interfaces, click on the WAN interface, and here you can change from DHCP to PPPoE or maybe the static IP. Similarly, in case of LAN interface, you can change the IP address from here and you can change that. This is how you get options to block private network addresses on LAN interface, but normally on the LAN side, we use private IPs. So that's why it is not required. Now, next tab is firewall. In the firewall tab, here you get various options. So one of that is NAT, that is network address translation. As the firewall works as a gateway, it works as a router also. So that is why it needs to perform the NAT operations. So here you have option port forwarding, where you can open your internal servers by opening the ports on the WAN interface of the pfSense firewall, so that users from internet can access your internal services by using WAN IP address and the port number. Now in one-to-one NAT, you can create a static NAT, that is where you can map one public IP address to your internal private IP address. This is outbound NAT, and here if you see in this particular automatic outbound NAT rule generation is specified. This is where your internal IP addresses will be converted or changed to the WAN IP address of the pfSense firewall. So before it sends any packet from LAN interface to WAN interface, it will change the internal IP address and replace it with the WAN interface IP address. This is how you have the NAT operation. You can specify based on your requirements, but mostly this automatic outbound NAT rule generation is sufficient. Now in the firewall, this is where you specify the rules. So rules option is there. This is the WAN interface. So the rule specified here will be applied to the WAN interface. Now this is the rule RFC 1918 networks that blocks all the private IP addresses from entering into your network. Now whenever you see this red cross, it means this rule blocks the traffic. If there is a green tick, it means the rule allows the traffic. So here this is for all unwanted networks which are not allowed on the internet. Now if you go to the LAN interface, these are the rules specified on the LAN interface. The first rule is to allow this particular web interface on 443 and port 80. So this is anti-lockout rule. It means this access will not be blocked anytime. So you can always open this particular interface. Now the second rule is IPv4 rule, which allows the entire LAN subnets to access all the outside networks or outside services. So here if you see LAN subnets, any port, star means any destination port. So this is how this rule allows entire traffic to the outside world. This rule is for IPv6. So now, in case if you want to block the traffic going to internet or outside networks, you'll have to add rules about this particular allow rule, because this rule allows entire traffic. So most of the firewalls provide you two options. Keep a default rule which will allow everything, and then add the block rules above that. Or you can have a block rule which will block by default everything, and then keep on adding only the allowed traffic by adding those allowed rules. Now this is what you get in the firewalls. This is where you can create the virtual IPs which you want to map to internal servers. Now in case of services, whatever applications you install through package manager like Squid, Snort, etc., you will get their management console under the services tab. So from here, whatever applications you install, you configure them by using these consoles. Now this is the VPN tab where you can create an IPsec VPN tunnel, L2TP or OpenVPN. Now in the status, you get a different options to monitor. So you can get a traffic graph. Here most important is system logs. From services, you will know what services are currently running and configured. So monitoring will tell you the graph, usage graph of this particular firewall. So if you go into the diagnostics, in the diagnostics you will get backup and restore. You will have to take the backup of your firewall whenever you configure it, because in case if your firewall crashes, you may have to reinstall. In that case, remembering all the rules or writing the rules again becomes difficult. That is why if you have a backup, you can easily restore that. You can get a command prompt to check something or execute something. Here you have option factory defaults. You can reset your firewall to factory settings. So it will reset everything, but normally it will not uninstall the applications that you have installed. Halt system, here you can halt or power off your firewall. Here you can ping to certain network or IP address and check the connectivity between the systems. So let's ping to 8.8.8.8 and let's see. Here you can specify a maximum number of pings. You can specify the source address. So now let's try. So here you are getting the output. So you are able to ping. So it means my pfSense firewall is able to communicate with the internet. This is how you can check if there are any issues with the connectivity. From here you can reboot the system, you can define the routes. As it's working as a router, these are the default routes that are present. If you want, you can add your routes to different networks. Now this is how you have these options. In the help, you will get about this page, so documentation, etc. So this is the general overview of the pfSense firewall. Anytime from anywhere, if you want to go back to the dashboard, just click on this pfSense logo and you will come back to the dashboard. So this is how the pfSense firewall console looks like. If there are some additional things required during our labs, we'll be looking at those options in detail. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please put them in the below comment. In the next video, we'll see how a packet filter firewall works and how to configure pfSense firewall as a packet filter firewall. So thanks again.